Hey, what's up? It's Mark Orlando from Adrenaline Mob. In this lesson, I'll be going over a technique called chicken picking. It's basically a country style lick. Got it from many of the greats growing up listening to the Albert Lees and Danny Gattins of the world, and just amazing players. And it's basically a pick-pluck technique. Real easy. Pick down, pluck up. That's the most basic way I can tell you about the lick. I'll show it to you in an apentatonic pattern, descending down the scale, and then we'll break it down. So the technique, I'll show you grouped in 2 strings each, the B and the E string. So basically what it is I'm keeping my hand mostly barred across 2 notes. And I hit the top note, a G, and then I come down on the C in the same bar. So most of it's like that. It's an easy barring technique sometimes. It's just, again, pick, pluck, pick, pluck. So on the B and the E string, it's those groups of 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I could take that technique and apply it moving down the scale to the G and the B string. Always groups of 2s. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I can move it up to the D to the G string, always grouped in 2 strings. Then I move it up to the A string and the D string. And again, the technique is just kind of a bar with your left hand, and you just kind of do this. You just come down off it, and then when I just kind of flip my finger like that. And then on the E and the A string, that's not a bar because I'm hitting the C note on the E string and the E note on the A string. So it's a little different as far as your fingering wise, but same technique. 2 strings, pick, pluck. I just added chromatic chords at the end. So here's the lick up to speed again. So let's apply this technique to some different patterns. Still staying in the apentatonic scale and box shape, we're going to do groups of 8, or groups of 4, but 8 notes. And I'll break it down. There's some hammer-on. There's, again, the pick and pluck, chicken picking technique. So let me do the lick fast, and then I'll break it down slow. So it starts off with a hammer-on, and then I pluck the next note, the C on the A string. That's the chicken pick technique. Pick, pluck, pick, pluck. And then I pick the A again and pluck the D right under it. And there's that technique I was talking about where the finger just drops down like that. That first muscle in the finger really helps when you get it to just come down. So it's back to the A, and then a hammer-on C and D of the A string. And that's the group of 8. And I move it around. Move it up to the A and the D string. Same thing, same idea, that box pattern. Same idea, hammer-on, start off with a hammer-on from the D to the E, pluck the A on the next string, back to the E, and then pluck the A on the D string. And then end it on the hammer-on. So it's the same technique I showed you before, I just moved it around. Now I'm going to move it up to the D and the G string. Same thing, same technique. Hammer on, pick, pluck, end on a hammer on. Same technique, my fingers bopping up and down to get that note underneath it. And then I move it up to the B and the G string. Have a little fun with the pentatonic scale, add the flat 5. Bluesy feel. I always like to throw something in a little left to center. Same technique. It's just that I am boxing it 4 frets apart. So hammer on, pluck, and then pick the D sharp and pick the G underneath it on the B string. And then move up to the B and the E. Same thing. Same fingering as well as the G to the B string, staying within the pentatonic scale, of course. And that's the lick. Here's the lick up to tempo. And I end on a full hammer-on, resolving back to the A. Okay, the next lick is a slight variation on what I just explained. Groups of 8s, but what we do is we add a little triplet hammer pull at the end of it. Little hammer on with a pull off, resolving the lick that I showed you before. So before we started with, but now I throw a little twist at the end of it. And that's basically the fast little injected triplet at the end. So I'll do the lick fast and then I'll break it down string to string. Okay, so like I said before, same patterns of groups of 8, sorry, and just a triplet hammer-on pull at the end. And then I jump up to the B and the G string. So it's that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, da-da-doom. That's that drum thing that I always bring in, that I love to pull these ideas from. Drum patterns and drum fills. So I jump up to the D and the G string at this point. Down to the A and the G string. And down to the E and the A. That's the lick. Here's a look at my right hand. I'll play the lick slow. This is the chicken pickin' pick pluck technique in action.